had gone on reapings with each of the guys, but one day I found myself one lunch break without anyone to share it with. I'm gonna try just to not be too critical of the writing, because it's still a demo, and I'm sure stuff's gonna be edited. This is probably just, like, not heavily edited, is the way I can say it. It's just like, hey, this is a basic expectation of what you're gonna get. Well, I guess you would kind of expect the demo to be, hey, this is what you should expect from the end game, and that should be an edited script. But, you know, it is what it is. Even Lilia had gone off somewhere. I assumed it was the human world for Boba. I wish she invited me. I hope she brings me back something at least. I thought going to the human world was only for special occasions, but she had been the one to teach me otherwise. Frequently, she'd come like a whirlwind and whisk me away for some treat or another. At first, I was afraid she wouldn't like me much, but she treated me like an old friend. It was nice being with another girl, I found myself thinking. I'm raising my eyebrow. You can't see it because of my fringe, but today, even her desk was empty. Maybe I can take another walk by myself. I had bought 2 sandwiches from the canteen. There was one person I thought I could share lunch with, and had made my purchase with him in mind. Ooh, we're gonna get a choice! Although I suspected my company wouldn't be very welcome. Oh. I thought we were gonna get a choice. Like, apparently you get a scene towards the end with a person that has all your choices in mind, but I've made like 2 choices, which is actually kind of crazy now that I think about that. While he said he owned the alley, I didn't think he meant it. He was there again. Was he what they called a delinquent? An even more welcome sight was his little cat. Mr. Kitty! I reached out a hand for him to sniff, and he nuzzled against my palm immediately. Lucian stared at us in disbelief. You again? Hello to you too. I thought I told you to go back to your reapers. I did, and I came back here today. I even got you lunch. I handed one of the sandwiches to Lucian and took some turkey out of mine for the cat to take. He wriggled his nose after finishing his portion and jumped up to take a bite out of Lucian's sandwich. Hey, this one's mine. The cat hissed at him, and Lucian begrudgingly gave him some more. You can have some from me. I tore off part of my sandwich, and Mr. Kitty stole the piece in one bite. Well, you really enjoy this, huh? I shall bring more with me next time. Next time? He spoke mid-bite, and his words were all muffled. His cheeks puffed out cutely like a chipmunk. The desire to poke his cheeks grew more intensely by the day. You said you can come back. But you took my offering. Why can't I come? Don't you have your own friends? I can always make more. Well, I didn't accept it. But you accepted the sandwich.
I can cough it back up.
So he said, but he just couldn't resist taking another bite of the sandwich. Since then, I had come by to visit whenever I had a break. I felt guilty, of course. I hated keeping secrets from the people who had been caring for me. Why are you keeping it a secret? I'm so confused. Why are you keeping it a secret? But Lucian did insist. Oh, he did insist that you couldn't tell a single soul about him. But I feel like I still would. Because, like, you are new to this place. And you almost got scammed. This is suspicious. Someone being like, hey, don't tell anyone about me is also suspicious. Why wouldn't you tell the people you trust? Or talk it out a little more, like, what the fuck, why? But I can also understand, like, just not doing that, I guess. But Lucian had insisted I didn't tell a single soul who harms me. What was one little secret? With each visit over the next few weeks, I'd grown more and more comfortable inventing to him what I was afraid to burden the others with. How's reaping coming along? Still the bane of your existence? It's still not pleasant. I finally had to take someone to hell the other day. And how was that? Harder than I thought it would be. Earlier that week. So we have to take someone to hell today? Guy's a real scumbag. Truly awful. I'm the biggest hypocrite. I talk about burning down sham hospitals, but now that I have to toss a man myself into hell, I should be happy, but I want to throw up. You get to punish an evildoer today, and yet you look so upset. Doing something yourself feels much different. It does. He let out a long, withering sigh that held the weight of 1,000 burdens. The guy's been scamming the elderly, robbed his own family dry. He's probably the type to kick puppies, and he's been the cause of many deaths through fraud. But he's never once been caught. The rich types like him never do. Disgusting. My blood boiled. He was no different than the nobility in my era. I feel a little better about the shrieks that I heard when I visited hell for the first time ringing my head again. Has my resolve weakened since my death? I was threatening violence just the other day. Or does my empathy waver when I can't see the effects of a sinner myself? As I was about to spiral into a moral crisis, I felt Kaim's hand on my shoulder. We will be there by your side. Are you ready? As ready as I'll ever be. Or so I thought. The bastard was a runner, and chasing him around wasn't helping my patience any. I need to find out which of my horses won. You're dead! What does it matter? You've already lost either way. And frankly, your odds were never good. This is why you've never held on to a fortune. That stopped the man in his tracks. As he raised an angry finger to jab at Kaim, the three of us seized him. Gotcha! I was so thrilled to catch our target that I had momentarily forgotten what the next step was. So wait, you hated not being able to punish the people who hurt that kid? I had explained the source of my struggle the last time I had come to visit him. Right. But now you're wavering because you have to do it yourself? If your friend had let you, would you really have blown up those sham hospitals? I twirled a strand of hair around my finger as I contemplated it. It wasn't too difficult imagining myself armed with explosive, cackling in triumph in front of a pile of rubble. I feel that I could have. Why? Is there something wrong with me?
I think you aren't as ruthless as you think you might be. I think you need something to strike you personally for you to go crazy, I guess.
Thanks, that makes me sound selfish. He shrugged. Well, you're realistic. At least you don't act like you're perfect. He nodded sagely and tapped his foot against a crate as he dissected my personality for me and offered his sage wisdom.
Which brings me back to what I said last time. You don't seem like you're the type that listens.
Just do your job. Don't think too hard about this kind of thing. Easy for you to say. He clicked his tongue and his foot swung with a heavy thud against the box to show his irritation. You don't know the half of it. All jobs suck anyway. This one deals with life and death.
Technically just death.
Ugh. Anyways, did you make it to hell, or did you go home? Well, during my visit in hell, after getting cursed out by the fellow in our custody, I had come to terms that it was my responsibility to bring him to his unfortunate fate. So I have to put him in there. That's right. But he was an absolute arse to you. Have you forgotten that already? I can still hear you. Unhand me, or else you will... Well, the last time, you're dead and you're going to hell. You really got some nerve threatening us. Kaim groaned and let go of the man. He struggled in our grasp, but Zavan wrapped a hand around his neck. While Kaim opened up a door that seemed to lead to nowhere, the man thrashed around harder. His eyes widened and his face contorted. The view that was invisible to us sent him into shivers. Please, just, accept your fate and come with us peacefully. You want me to go to hell and go quietly? Fuck you, you little bitch. He spat in my face. No. He did, and he would regret it. I was seeing red. As I reeled back my fist to punch him with all I had, Zafan and Kaim beat me to it. The man was on the floor, crushed under their feet. Dudes, that wasn't cool. Let her fucking punch him. What the hell? I added my heel to his gut for good measure and stomped down. Both his cheeks sported bruises, and my only regret was neither of them were from me.
You've got a lot of fucking nerve!
Zafan snarled. His anger was such a stark extreme to his usual jovial nature. A shiver ran down my spine. I'm already going to hell. Can't get any worse. No, it can't. Think again.
Whatever horrors you can imagine, I will darken your nightmares until your very existence flickers out.
That served as the last warning the man would receive before Kaim delivered a swift and brutal kick that sent him flying into his peril. A tense silence passed between us until I cleared my throat. I was supposed to do that, right? You can get the next one. Zafan, help her with the paperwork. I have someone to talk to. Without so much as a farewell, he marched off down a hallway that I'd never want to walk down myself. He can be scary. Sorry for that. I must have scared you a little bit myself. A little, but you were standing up for me. And you just beat me to the punch, literally, actually. Thank you, Zaf. I gave him a hug that was more for my sake than his. I was spoiled by all the attention Felix had given me whenever I'd been down. Even whenever I didn't admit my feelings, he always managed to get a read on them. Let's move a bit out of the way. Oh, sorry. I tried to let go, but he kept me caged in his very toned, this was an objective observation, arms, and let me settle down in a quiet corner. That got intense quickly. Comes with the whole hell thing, I suppose. You dating that as a fan, dude? I choked on what was left of my sandwich. What?
Cuddling. In the middle of hell. This sounds romantic to me.
No, I'm leaving. You're more defensive than I thought you'd be. He rubbed my back as I coughed. Though he acted like I was a thorn in his side, he warmed up a lot more after I fed him. Mr. Kitty was curled up against my feet, batting the strap of my boot boredly. I am not defensive. I did not appreciate the smug laugh Lucian shared with the cat. Oh, did the cat laugh? Well, find one of those guys to date and just forget everything else. All jobs suck. This one just sucks a bit more. You don't have a choice, so instead of driving yourself mad, just let it be. Easy for you two. That was the first time I'd received a genuine glare from him, and my voice refused to come out of my throat. You must have experience, then. You have no idea. Well, my lunch break is over. I'll get going now. Is he like a rogue reaper? Don't come looking for me again. He said this every time. Then don't hang out in this alley. It's my alley. Meow. Okay, our alley. Sure, sure. What do you want me to bring you next time? Something from the human world? Why didn't we have boba in this world? I would have to talk to Seir about this. Although Kaim seemed to favour sweets the most out of the group, so he might be a more promising avenue to pursue. If you want. Although he tried to say no, his lip was quivering. How cute. I guess you're going back to your boyfriend. Is Kaim the one you're dating? I'm not dating any of them. Plus, Kaim's going to be away for the next few days. I think he's fighting evil spirits again. I'd offer to help, but I'd rather not if I can help it. Mr. Kitty leapt up onto my shoulder and nuzzled my face. I'll come back to see you soon, don't worry. He meowed at Lucian, and I may have been hearing things, but it was quite authoritative for a meow. Could a cat issue commands? Of course, humans have always been at the mercy of cats. Maybe I was reading too much into this. You're going with her? Okay, maybe I wasn't crazy after all, or maybe we both were. But if we're both crazy, are we both sane by default? This is the kind of question that would keep me up at night. The shock and subsequent betrayal was evident in his voice, ringing clear. Was the cat not friendly to others? My heart surged with pride and a sense of accomplishment. The cat meowed at him and smacked his tail against Lucian's face. Alright, but you better behave while you're away. He said he wants to go with you for a few days. I don't know if it's the best idea. Oh, I'm taking Mr. Kitty. You better believe I'm taking Mr. Kitty. Oh, I'll take good care of him. What does he like to eat? Anything you eat is fine with him, but don't give him cat food. He doesn't like it. But is it safe for him to eat whatever I do? He's not like a cat in the human world. Anything is fine for him. You're not trying to get him sick, are you? He looked aghast at my accusation. What? No! He's annoying, but I don't want anything to happen to him. Mr. Kitty rolled his eyes, I didn't know cats could do that, and snuggled into my arms. I'm teasing. You'll still be in this alley, right? Yes. And that was all he said before going to toss our sandwich wrappers away.
Ah, a cat! Where did you find this little one?
Seir reached to pick up Mr. Kitty, but he hissed angrily at the poor angel. Seir's shoulders fell into a sad slump, and I patted him with a free hand while petting the cat with the other. Sorry, I think he's wary of strangers. He quirked an eyebrow at my comment. Are you not a stranger to this cat too? Well, I found him a few days ago. You've been having adventures without me. I wish we could have found it together. What I liked about Seir was that he never grew suspicious, just a little pouty at being left out. Oh, I'm sorry, Seir. I was worried I'd get scolded, but he's so cute. I had to bring him home. I hope you'll let me pet him soon. A low growl from Mr. Kitty indicated that would not be happening anytime soon. Should we go and buy supplies for him? Supplies? But he can eat human food. Oh, well, he is still a cat. Does he not need some things? Mr. Kitty blinked at us, and I swear he side-eyed Seir. I shall research it. He pulled out his watch and typed in, what do you need for a mean cat? He isn't mean. He is unkind to me. Meow.
All right, we'll need a brush. You know what? I suppose you have food handled. What about some pet... Ow! Hey!
The cat swiped at him.
I suppose he requires fine china as well. Pray forgive the discourtesy.
I couldn't tell if Seir was being sarcastic or not. He only ever expressed displeasure when whining.
And little... Ouch!
I didn't think his voice could grow that loud. Mr. Kitty finally managed to land a swipe on his arm and had sunk in his teeth for good measure, too.
I suppose he doesn't require that either. In any case, I shall refrain from making any further suggestions.
As I extricated Mr. Kitty away from Sayer, I saw that there was a faint tear in his clothing. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Sayer. I'll replace it. Ah, do not fret so, Valkii. With a flex of his fingers, I saw a glow travel up his arm. Where he was bleeding moments ago under the torn fabric, his skin returned to its smooth self. The fabric had sewn itself back as if there was never a split in the first place. Sorcery. You can heal. It comes with the job. He smiled, and this enraged Mr. Kitty again. I held back the cat before he could pounce on Sayer's face this time. While I did not doubt his healing abilities, I imagined it still would hurt a good deal for his face to become shredded. I think the two of you should stay away from each other. Wise, as always. How about I leave him at my desk while I finish my work? I'm behind on my reports for the week. You've been only working for a week. You're behind already? Aries and Valkii had joined us out of thin air and startled me more than the cat.
I shall assist you. Worry not.
So you're taking on work voluntarily. Brings a tear to my eye. Never thought I'd live to see the day.
He ruffled Sayer's hair affectionately, drawing out the angel's adorable pout.
You tease me far too much. I've always helped you with whatever you've asked of me.
What have I ever asked for?
You should ask me more then.
So where did this cat come from? I found him on the street. Mr. Kitty, stay at my desk, okay? I didn't feel like answering more questions, so I put him on my shoulder and dashed off to my desk before leaving to finish my work for the day. While the finer details of the reapings were automatically recorded, I still had to write my own accounts for the documentation. I didn't understand the point of it, but to be honest, I didn't understand most of what had been happening around me. We had gone shopping for a brush for Mr. Kitty. He had picked the most ornate one we could find. He still refused to go near any of the others and stubbornly clung to me. I couldn't resist being a little smug about the cat hating Aries. I was lying in bed with the cat on my chest as the guys camped on the floor for safety. You're such a sweet little kitty, aren't you? Yeah, make it more obvious, will ya? Sayer had healed the scratches on his face, but he couldn't heal the damage Aries' ego had suffered.
It's a shame that Kame is missing out on this
Kame.
excitement.
What was I saying? Kame? Whatever. Yeah, a real shame. Valkii, can someone say his name so I know how to say it? I'm gonna forget, but it's fine. Valkii was the only one who had escaped any scars. The others just made Mr. Kitty nervous, that's all. So he likes him? Okay. I snuggled my cheek against his and he purred sweetly. Oh, to be a cat. Seems like a nice life. He gets brushed, fed, and gets to cuddle with Valkii. Oh, Sayer was an innocent boy, so I didn't think anything of it. I'd give him some head pass later so that he didn't feel too left out. You're so lucky you're an idiot. Aries, don't be unkind to him.
I am not an idiot. I should not have healed you.
Wow, you got his mean side to show. Impressive. Anyway, speaking of Kame, how about we send him a picture of our new furry friend? So something about Kame. That Kame being away is why the cat Malthus, right? Is able to be here. Would Kame know? Valky's new furry friend. He amended quickly, sparing a nervous glance down towards Mr. Kitty's paws. To think just one cat could bring them to their knees, I giggled quietly and took my phone out. Oh, okay, maybe not. How do I take a photo again? I'll come show you. As the fan walked over, Mr. Kitty suddenly leapt off and scurried into the other room. Oh, so maybe I'm right. There he goes. Oh dear, should we go and get him? Nah. Valkii? Sayer? Zafan? I intentionally picked the most patient of the bunch. Sayer may have been a bit lazy, but he was always willing to help me. Mr. Kitty was a persistent target. In the end, I had only managed to get a blurry photo of him while he batted his paws from on top of the fridge. Well, Kame will finally get to see what he's missing out on. Both Valkii and Sayer stared at me with glassy eyes. Zafan had nervously joined the cat hunt, but he was laid out flat on the floor in the end. I would have thought that you guys had better stamina than this. I believe there is something wrong with the cat. I must say I agree. He was doubled over, panting. You all are exaggerating, but thank you for helping me. Let me make you some dessert as thanks.
No cherry in mine.
Aries shamelessly called out from the bedroom. I scoffed in response. You didn't even help.
So you're not even going to treat a guest? Wow.
See if I don't sneeze in yours. I muttered under my breath, but with Sayir's aid, I decided to make some milkshakes for each of us. How do I use this mixer again? Ah! The splatter reached the top of the fridge where Mr. Kitty had gone to sleep on, and with a yowl, he leapt onto Velfar's head. He was no longer unscathed.
That
Youch!
cat is cursed! We must get rid of it.
He waved a very dramatic finger at the fleeing culprit.
Here, here.
I'll throw it out the window.
I normally do not condone animal cruelty. However,
I thought angels are supposed to be well-intentioned. I shall wholeheartedly assist. Even Velfar is ruffled, huh? After that little incident, the rest of the evening was uneventful. I had consoled Velfar quite heartily. I didn't think he had a pouty side, but he did. It was adorable. Although I was smart enough to not say that out loud. I heard dark mutters of returning Mr. Kitty back to the street when I wasn't looking. I'd locked the doors, but I think Mr. Kitty would win that battle. I was eagerly waiting for a reply from Kaim, but nothing had come yet. He seems like he likes cats. Maybe Mr. Kitty would like him if he had the chance. When will Kaim get back? Kaim? I don't know. Hard to say. I might have to go looking for him if he doesn't return in a few days. I had offered to go too. He was still a little more irritable than usual, so I gave him a little more whipped cream for his ice cream. Sayir had decided to replace the cat. His head lay in my lap whenever I wasn't up and getting more ice cream. You should have. What if he's dead in a ditch somewhere? Don't say that. I'll confiscate your ice cream. I should have sneezed in it. He had the audacity to sit cross-legged on the couch, happily drinking a milkshake he did not even earn. Those malevolents are a tough fight. Wonder why they didn't assign me. You're too hot-headed, that's why. Isn't that Zafan? I am plenty rational, thank you. Will he be okay on his own? He's had hundreds of years of experience, but if you're worried about Kaim, I hate these names. About Kaim, we can find him together. Aries pursed his lips around his spoon before waving it at us. What? That's a terrible idea. Besides, she's scared shitless of ghosts. I'll fight them. That's the spirit. I'll be your backup, Valkii. I suppose I'll have to keep your sorry ass alive. But his words were accompanied by a smile, despite himself.
Besides, who'll make us drinks if Kame kicks the bucket?
I'm going to tell him everything that you men have been saying when he comes back home. I crossed my arms with indignation on behalf of my bespectacled friend, and the boys laughed.
He will thank us, actually, when we tell him how much you've said in his defense.
I had eventually coaxed Mr. Kitty back out, and just like that, he had become part of my routine. He followed me everywhere when I was home. He waited patiently outside of the bathroom whenever I would bathe, and yelped when I would change my clothes in front of him. For a cat, he had quite a strong sense of privacy. When I was at work, I'd let him roam around outside. He was always back by dinner time. I had searched for Lucian to give him an update, but I hadn't come across him since we last spoke. I hope he's alright. What if it had something to do with why Mr. Kitty came home with me? That's two people I'm worried about now. Kaim, where are you, man? Perhaps he is enjoying himself in the human world, gorging himself on sweets as poor Valkii frets. I'm not fretting. Please relieve us from the cat. Is that really your biggest concern? Lol. Look how cute the kitty is! Oh, we actually got a picture of it, so maybe not. Oh. Valkii, where are you? Before I could reply, a call came through from him. Kaim, where are you? I'm home. Where are you? Where is the cat?
Where is he?
I don't know. I let him out for a walk. I'll go look for him. Stay where you are. I'm coming up. He hung up the phone. What was happening? I was too anxious to stay put and ran down the stairs 2 at a time. I had run outside and found Kaim out of breath in front of our apartment building. What's going on with Mr. Kitty? Are you okay? I told you to stay put. I'm fine. I want to know what's happening. Just then, I spotted Mr. Kitty. Mr. Kitty! I tried to run to my cat, but Kaim held me back. What's going on? Malthus, show yourself, told you. God, I love his design so much. If you have a voice actor that I don't like, I'm going to be sad. Faster than a blink, in front of me appeared a man instead of my dear cat. So the cat really could turn into a person? I felt faint, spiritually.
Hello, big brother. And my lovely master.
It's okay. I don't necessarily like the really deep voice that some men do. It's okay. I mean, it sounds evil and he's supposed to be like a villain, whatever, right? He sauntered over to us slowly and shoved me behind his wide back.
Guess the jig is up, huh?
Yeah, I feel like the more I listen to it, the more I like it.
Thanks for hosting me. You're much nicer than all those other idiots. You're the only one I'd want to cuddle, anyway.
I just don't think the voice suits him. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that he doesn't look like he'd have that deep voice. Big brother? My cat just turned into Kame's brother. What's wrong with my life? I mean, death. I give up. Chapter 4, yay. Would anyone care to explain what's going on here? Haim redirected the questioning to me and I gulped. Look. The cat you've kept... What? What was that? Would anyone care to explain what's going on here? Haim redirected the questioning to me and I gulped. Look. The cat you've kept close to you this whole time has been my brother. From the corner of my eye, I saw Malthus wave cheerily at the mention of his name, although I knew it was unwise to point it out. We know that you've been hiding something from us. Was it this? Did you know that the cat was Malthus? Haim stood toe-to-toe with me, and I furiously shook my head. No, I thought this was just a cat. I aimed a beseeching look at him, hoping that he would believe I was just an idiot, not a traitor. He sighed and gave me a curt nod. We can speak more later. He's dangerous, Valkii. Go back inside and call for the others. While he raised his arm again to keep me behind him and to urge me to return, I dug my heels into the ground. If he's dangerous, then I'm not leaving you behind. If he's your brother, where are his ears? This is my business. He was my cat. He's my business too. I could see the warring thoughts reflecting in his countenance, but he only pursed his lips. Very well, but contact the others. Yes, sir. I ferociously sent a text message to the group chat, and a cough from Malthus jerked our attention back to him. So these malevolents, have they been your doing?
What? Why would you just accuse me of that with no evidence?
Malthus, malevolence, do you think that no one could make the connection? You've been raising this army for decades, but I've been blinded.
Oh, you think I'm as vain as you are, that I just named them after myself.
You're more vain than I am. You definitely would.
So you admit it. You think you're vain.
I'm going to so thoroughly beat your ass that...
You're planning to do a bit more than that. Sorry, I'm not sticking around for that.
He pulled down his eyelid and stuck out his tongue. Pulled down his eyelid and stuck his tongue out in quite a rude gesture. I was still shocked that my cat had turned into a villain and was acting quite childish to boot. Was this just a prank?
Well, I'd love to stay. I think you've got a problem ahead of you. You were the one that named them malevolent, by the way. In case you've forgotten, dumbass.
Oh. Looking towards where Malthus had pointed, there was a being of blue fire that was slithering on, no, through the street. It shows up with oh so convenient timing, and you're telling me you have nothing to do with it. If you want to give me undue credit, by all means. He bowed and rolled his eyes, then snapped back up to give me one last wave. See you around. Thanks for being such a gracious host. I'll tell my brother you sent your regards. Thanks for all the food. So long, and thanks for all the fish. And with a wink, he took the form of a crow and flew away. Damn, he's a shapeshifter. All that food. How much time have you been spending with them? Alright, did my cat have to throw me to the wolves like that? Haim looked at me with a withering stare, and I pointed to the threat ahead of us that looked just about ready to attack. Saved by the enemy, you could say. Too much was happening at once, and we weren't afforded any time to process what had just happened. As Haim swore at Malthus through gritted teeth, I lunged out of danger and glanced back to see that he, too, had leapt to safety. Came. Run back, Valkii, now. I'm not going to leave you here by yourself. I am more than capable of handling one of these by myself, I assure you. Are you not afraid of spirits? Not enough to abandon you. As you wish. Although that got him to give in, I wasn't sure if I was speaking out of bravado or if I was truly able to handle this. In any case, there was no time for rumination. The spirits snapped up, and under my feet, I leapt up with not a moment to spare. Damn it, that was close. Take that. I thanked the stars for my increase in agility and swept my scythe below me while Kame struck it from the side. Yes! My blade made a clean sweep right through the body, and then a repelling force threw me back along with my weapon. Damn. Valkii. I'm okay, don't worry. Why is this creature so strong? The power of spite is not to be underestimated, I fear. That's what this monster is composed of. The creature split itself into two now, long whips coiling out from what I assumed to be its arms. This is not how I wanted to spend my day. Kame and I were standing facing opposite sides, a monster on each side looking back at us. I did offer you a retreat. Yes, yes, like the handsome, gracious gentleman you are. Handsome? Huh, it is unwise to feed my ego. I wanted to volley back with a witty quip, but alas, mortal peril silenced my tongue. A whip-like arm plunged towards me, and as I raised my weapon to shield myself, the force propelled me once more. My boots skid across the ground and pushed me against Kame's back.
So close on the first date.
You're creeping me out, Kame, I'm going to be honest. I'd love to be more demure, but unfortunately my hands are tied. My blade took a barrage of assaults as I fought back. I prayed the craftsmanship would hold out. I would endeavour to be more gentlemanlike, but I'm afraid that we are in the same boat. While he held his own far better than I did, I felt the weight of his shoulder blades digging into mine. Remember to expel your energy into your weapon, Valkii. We didn't get quite that far into our lessons yet. In truth, I had tried, but I couldn't quite keep the flame of my energy flickering long enough. I think this situation might be more of a boon for honing your skills. Such fancy words to tell me to just try it. Aye, aye. I scrunched up my face like a child told to perform long division, and could almost hear Aries' cackles in my ears as I pressured my being to extend to my blade. I'm doing it! I'm doing it! Look! While I would love to assess your progress, I am trying to keep you from being perforated at this moment. Where in the blazes are the others?
Right here, you impatient old man.
And we'll see how this battle goes in the next one.